Two bombs exploded outside the popular Sari Club, bringing death and devastation. At least 180 people were killed, with Australians and Indonesians making up the biggest groups. But while Australia mourns innocence lost, politicians, including Prime Minister John Howard, have struggled to express the horror of the attack.
Stuart Pallister joins us live. Stuart?
Well, Martin, the word is at the moment the Indonesian police are questioning pretty intensively two Indonesians with regard to Saturday night's bomb blast here, just a short distance from where we're standing at the moment. It was a demonstration at one of Indonesia's top private universities that turned deadly. But earlier in the day, it had all been very different. The mood, good-natured. But then the students moved out onto the streets from their campus in West Jakarta. The tension was palpable. The students want political reform, and they're not going to give up easily. The student protests are expected to intensify next week. Analysts say the government's caught between a rock and a hard place. While it's talking about political reform, it doesn't want to be seen to be caving in to the students' demands.
Satu kesatuan emosi dan tekad.
Many believe Indonesia will have to implement political reforms, and a major overhaul of the system may be needed. The students are likely to keep the pressure on until the authorities give a clear indication that they do take their demands seriously. Stuart Pallister, CNBC Asia Business News, Jakarta. It may be the calm between the storms, some semblance of normality returning to Jakarta. But throughout the city and its suburbs, a trail of destruction. Block after block of businesses in ruins. Those that survived, the ones owned by indigenous Indonesians. Businesses built up by ethnic Chinese are being destroyed. The scale of the destruction is immense, and the cost of the damage is already estimated to be well into the hundreds of billions of rupiah. It's going to be many years before the capital, Jakarta, gets back to what it was, especially as foreign investors and ethnic Chinese won't be rushing back in anytime soon. From banks to department stores, discos to fast food outlets, they've all been hit by looting and rioting.
I've been trying to think myself, what city of significance in the world in the last 50 years has experienced something this other than in the middle of a war? And I can't think of any.
President Suharto and the military are in charge for now, but when the storm hits again, loyalties will be severely tested. Stuart Pallister, CNBC Asia Business News, Jakarta. Late Friday night, hundreds of soldiers move in to clear protesters from the grounds of the Parliament building. The operation, well planned and largely without violence. Questions remain as to whether the students have the resolve to press on with their fight for reform, now that Suharto has gone. But as the students were bussed out of the Parliament compound, they clearly felt they'd won a victory. And although the armies managed to clear the Parliament building, the protests are far from over. Stuart Pallister, CNBC Asia Business News.